It's been a year full of highlights on After the Whistle, but with the season ending, it's time to rank the best plays in District 6.
Got one right here where it's Eric MYKUT, lefty with a cannon. On corks one from Huntingdon territory where Jackson Foster catches it over a defender, takes it down the sideline and into the end zone for a touchdown. But was it enough to make our top play of the year?
We will rank all top 5 of plays from the entire season later on today, but for one final time in 2022. Welcome to After the Whistle, a production of the students of Comm Radio, the Center County Report, and Penn State's chapter of Awesome. I'm Preston Shoemaker.
And I'm Andre McGarrow. Today we'll take a look back at what was an exciting season of District 6 football that saw multiple teams in our area make deep runs into the state tournament.
And I'm Jake Starr. It's been all fun and games this season, but in the spirit of the holiday season, let's tie a bow on this one. After the Whistle starts now.
Well, it was another impressive year for the Central Dragons, who won 12 games this year and saw quarterback Jeff Hohenstein break state records in the passing game. Reporter Mike Bolger took a look at their season.
After a tough start to the season, going 1-2 in the first 3 games while getting outscored 77-97 in those games, the Central Dragons were going on a 10-game win streak. The Dragons would continue that dominant performance in the first round against Grove City Eagles, where they would jump out to an early 14-point lead before half, then finish the game 35-7, where quarterback Jeff Hohenstein threw for 322 yards and 4 touchdowns. After a dominant round 1 in the playoff, Central's hot streak would finally come to an end. In the second round, Central would face Bell Vernon, where they would struggle on offense early on and let up 2 straight touchdowns. The Dragons' offense would finally get it going in the second quarter, scoring 17 unanswered before the end of half. Coming out of half, both teams would get into a defensive stand, and it wouldn't be until the end of the third quarter where the Leopards would go on a long drive to take back the lead. Late in the fourth quarter, Central would get one last opportunity to take back the lead, and on 4th and long, Hohenstein would toss one up in a desperation attempt to save the season, but Bell Vernon was all over it. Central ends the season 12-3 and just 1 game shy of the playoff championship. The Dragons will be graduating 14 seniors, including their star quarterback and wide receiver, giving their young backups the keys to the team for next season and a chance to win it all in 2023.
As Mike just said, the Dragons will look to replace numerous impact players next season, including Hohenstein and wide receiver Eli Lingenfelter, who were both key contributors on the offensive side of the ball.
Central may have failed to advance, but did State High follow their lead? The Little Lions took to Altoona to take on the Harrisburg Cougars in the District 6 semifinals. Let's take a look at those highlights. Take a look at the Little Lions marching their way out of the tunnel to get this one started. And early on in the game, it's 4th down for Harrisburg. Back goes Sean Lee, the quarterback, and John Scott wraps him up, throws him down to the turf, forces a turnover. State High takes over. 3rd and short, midway through the second quarter. Still no score. Deontay SHEFFEY, nice little scamper there, keeps the drive alive. Then a few plays later, SHEFFEY from 7 yards out finds Pater into the end zone for the touchdown. State High up 7-0. Can the Little Lions build on it? But in the third quarter, it's Kyle Williams Jr. for Harrisburg. A 34-yard score, casually marches his way into the end zone. Harrisburg goes for 2, up 8-7. Late in the third quarter, Harrisburg already up 14-7. It's Williams Jr. again. 2 of his 4 touchdown scores today. Harrisburg up 27. They wind up winning it 27-7 over State College. Harrisburg would advance to the 6A state championship game, where they fell to St. Joseph's Prep the following week.
Ultimately, they come up short there, but boy, what a season for the State High Little Lions. For the second straight campaign, State High made a run into the month of December. Matt LINTAL's squad saw themselves finish with a 13-1 record and a trip to the PIAA state semifinals. Good enough for our After the Whistle Team of the Year honors. Reporter Joseph Callahan Jr. met with the team as the Little Lions reflected on their run.
It's not easy to make a fall run into the state playoffs, but State High has seemed to be a constant face. Just a short drive from where the Nittany Lions pounce on their prey, the Little Lions have matched the energy. After last year's deep playoff run, head coach Matt LINTAL had the team set for stardom, wanted to match the team's success. How did he respond? With an undefeated regular season. They capped it off with their 11th district championship. Since taking over as head coach in 2014, LINTAL has led State High to 8 district titles in 9 years, even after the move from District 4 to District 6 in 2016.
It's just an excitement. I think it's kind of a deep breath to have this game under your belt and be able to kind of move forward. The District 6 champions again, and I'm just proud of these guys for the effort, the heart, and it's paying off. We've been able to kind of check some boxes off along the way. Undefeated season, Mid-Penn champions, now District 6 champions.
They roared into the state playoffs, taking down McDowell in a triple overtime victory at home. The game did more than just motivate the team.
I mean, it felt crazy. It doesn't even feel like it really happened. It just went by so fast. But our coaches and all my teammates helped us prepare throughout the week and throughout the season, off season, that made us play for this. And we were like conditioned well. We knew what we were doing, and that's what made us win at the end.
State champions. We're going to the state champ. Let's go.
That spark would roll into the next weeks, capturing a state semifinals berth for the first time under LINTAL.
Even at 13-0, the Little Lions season can still be described as a spiral, but unfortunately, all good things must eventually come to an end.
The kryptonite of the Little Lions seems to be Mansion Park in Altoona, as the Little Lions fell to Harrisburg 27-7, in the same destination they fell in the playoffs last year.
I love these kids. They feel like my sons. They give so much to each other and so much to our program. There's so much fun to be around every day. The hardest part is not losing a football game. The hardest part is knowing that I don't get to coach those seniors anymore.
Even though State High loses key pieces, quarterback FRMANEK and receiver Dante Nastasi for an example, the future is still bright. Their legacy will live on in the lessons and teachings of LINTAL. On the field, its biggest retention is phenom running back SHEFFEY. The bell cow back rushed 208 times for 1,680 yards and 24 total touchdowns. The best part? He's merely a freshman. With back-to-back District 6 championships and 2 deep state playoff runs in a row, it seems that State High will remain in good hands. Reporting for After the Whistle, I'm Joe Callahan Jr.
State High has now won the District 6 6A championship 6 of its 7 seasons in that classification. Reporter Logan Barandis has more on what made the Little Lions season so special.
Thanks, Andre. A big part of that season was freshman running back SHEFFEY's incredible year as he helped lead State High on the ground. I took a look back at his season as our fresh face of the year.
It's tough to pull off an undefeated regular season and make a deep run into the playoffs. It's even tougher to have a big role in one of those teams, and to do so as a freshman. That's exactly what running back SHEFFEY did with the State High Little Lions this season. On a team that made it all the way to the District 6 semifinals, SHEFFEY became an instant spark from the jump. He ended his freshman campaign with 1,725 rushing yards and 25 total touchdowns. Since his arrival in 2014, head coach Matt LINTAL has seen many talented players provide an early impact for his team, but he has seen none like SHEFFEY.
He's certainly been the most impactful freshman that we've ever had. We've had guys come and take the field. Ty Salazar last year, Michael Gall last year, Steven Skortis back when he was a freshman, and so we've had a number of guys that have had a significant role, none bigger than what Tay's role was this year.
While it was just one player racking up the stats, SHEFFEY credits his performance as a team effort.
I think I had a great year. I mean, definitely more to come in the next years of my career, and we just had a great team this year to set me up and set each other up.
SHEFFEY elevated his performance when the lights were brightest in the playoffs, with 6 touchdowns and 3 100-yard rushing performances in his 4 playoff games. LINTAL mentioned it was invaluable for SHEFFEY to be playing in those big playoff games so early in his career.
I think when the lights are brighter, Tay really showed up and did his job, and I think having that experience is certainly things that you can build upon. When you're in those tight ball games and triple overtime games and going for 2 to win games throughout the year, that's all stuff that carries over into believing you can win, and that's half the battle every time you take the field.
Now entering his first offseason as a high school football player, SHEFFEY turns his attention to the weight room as he looks to improve for next season and beyond, following a season that won him our After the Whistle Freshman of the Year award.
There's always room to improve, but personally for me, I think the weight room is always great, and just keeping up work, and it's like definitely just everything, always room to improve.
Sheffey led State High to the state semifinals. Congrats to Deontay Sheffey, our 2022 Fresh Face of the Year. Moving on now to some of the other teams in the district. It was an impressive 8-4 season for Bald Eagle High School following a 2-3 start. I took a look back at their season.
The Bald Eagle Area Eagles put together a solid 2022 campaign, finishing with an 8-4 record. Although things didn't always look like they would finish off that way, Bald Eagle got off to a 2-3 start before rallying off 6 consecutive wins. The ride came to a screeching halt in the playoffs as the Eagles fell to Penn's Valley in a 34-14 defeat. That shouldn't take away from the impressive run, according to head coach Jesse Nagle.
Really happy with it. I think we, a game or two short, but I think the kids really responded early. We could have laid down, and they fought back and made a nice run at it. So I'm really proud of them.
The Eagles were led by a strong offensive attack, which put up over 30 points per game. Sophomore Carson Nagle took a big jump through the air with over 2,800 yards and 29 touchdowns, with one of his main targets being junior Cameron Watkins, who finished with over 850 yards and 7 scores. Watkins also led the team with 10.5 sacks and cherished the opportunity to make an Ironman-like impact on both sides of the ball.
I love playing defense and offense, and knowing that I had the most sacks on the team. It's really, I really don't want to think about it as like something special, but at the same time, everyone has a part on the defensive side, but knowing that I had that many sacks, just knows that I did a pretty good job on defense too.
Watkins was a part of a defense which only allowed 13.5 points per game and recorded 3 shutouts. Senior Trey Green also played a big part in that unit's success, leading the way with 100 tackles. Green was also the Eagles' leading rusher with over 800 yards and 8 touchdowns. While it was his first full season as the Eagles' running back, defense has always been Green's niche.
As far as defensively, that's where I feel like my almost my domain is. Where I can help the most. Once again, the line does a great job taking up double teams, eating up blocks, allowing me to fly around and make plays and do what I do. Just a lot of credit to my teammates.
Now, after wrapping up its 4th winning season in the past 5 years, Nagle feels the potential is there to make the jump if the offseason work is put in.
We feel pretty confident, coming in. It's one of those things, though. The weight room over there is going to be a big factor. Are they going to put in the time and the effort? The expectation is very high, but, we definitely have to perform in the offseason to make sure we reach that.
A big part of that offseason jump will come with quarterback Carson Nagle, who'll be entering his junior season. Reporting in studio, I'm Logan Barandis.
Thanks, Logan. Moving along now, a 500 season for Altoona led to a trip to the District 6 playoffs. Reporter McKenna Wall took a look back on the Mountain Lions season.
The Altoona Mountain Lions kicked off their 2022 season with a roaring 19-9 win over Hollidaysburg, but the success was short-lived. Under head coach Vince Niedermeyer, Altoona finished this season 6-6 overall with a 2-5 conference record. Junior quarterback Brennan Freewald passed for 686 yards and ended the season with 5 passing touchdowns. Freewald threw just 1 interception out of 100 passing attempts. Senior defensive player and tight end Manny Miller is ranked number 5 in the state of Pennsylvania for total sacks, racking up 14 this season. Altoona averaged 1.3 interceptions per game, including that diving snatch from senior Sean Betwee. The backbone of the 2022 Altoona football team was their rush game. Of course, there's none other to talk about than number 22, Alexander Yost. The senior running back and free safety led the Mountain Lions in rushing yards, receiving yards, and overall scoring by an impressive margin. He finished the season just 20 yards short of the 1,000 rushing milestone. He was certainly fun to watch. Although he did not hit that 1,000 rushing yards milestone, he still lapped his teammates in taking the ball to the house, ending the season with 13 touchdowns and 78 points for this Altoona team. With Miller's help, the Maroon and White put up a tough defense with 584 tackles and 24.5 sacks. The Mountain Lions pushed their luck and attempted to run their way to a District 6 title, but their offensive strategy was not enough. Altoona was knocked out of playoff action on November 10th when they fell 28-7 versus Bald Eagle Area High School.
Although Yost and Miller are graduating and moving on from the Altoona football program, the Mountain Lions will continue to roar as they look to claw their way to victory next year. Reporting for After the Whistle, I'm McKenna Wall.
Thanks, McKenna. It was a strong 11-0 season that saw Richland with a chance to move on against Bishop Guilfoyle. Even though the Rams couldn't, it was still a season to remember. Our reporter Jacob Schnurr has the story.
While the season didn't end as they would have liked, it was a prolific year for the Richland Rams as they managed an undefeated 11-0 record in the regular season and 10-0 in conference play before coming up short against Bishop Guilfoyle in the playoffs. The Rams' offense was the clear standout as they topped 30 points in 8 games, including 6 games over 40 and 3 over 50 in conference victories against Somerset, Greater Johnstown, and Central Cambria. In the passing game, senior quarterback Sam Penna threw for over 2,000 yards and totaled 24 touchdown passes, 11 of which went to sophomore receiver Austin Yarnick. None of this success would have been possible, however, without standout running back Evan McCracken, who totaled 1,422 ground yards and 32 total touchdowns. Among many notable performances, he went on a 3-game streak of 179 rushing yards or more, even picking up 5 touchdowns against conference rival Penn Cambria over that stretch. On the defensive end, McCracken even managed 2 interceptions while playing linebacker for the Rams, which was good enough for the second most on the team. Outside linebacker Jordan Nichols also made his presence felt this season as he sacked the opposing quarterback a team-leading 16 times, with 5 coming in a single game against Bishop McCourt in early September. After finishing first in the Laurel Highlands Conference, Richland has a lot to be proud of as they head into their offseason. With Evan McCracken returning for his senior year in 2023, the Rams look to crack their way back into the playoffs once again. Reporting in studio, I'm Jacob Schnurr with After the Whistle.
Thanks, Jacob. Bellwood Antis completed a 6-5 season that saw the Blue Devils eliminated in the first round of the district playoffs. Reporter Justin Chevalella recapped their season.
Following a 10-2 record and second-round playoff exit to Richland last year, Bellwood Antis entered the 2022 campaign with high expectations. The Blue Devils would fall below those goals, but quarterback Gavin Ridgway still saw many positives throughout the season.
We went 6-5, which isn't typically what we do, but it's a winning record, and I take anything as a win, and I think that we had a lot of younger guys that have stepped up this year, and I think they did a great job, so I think it showed it taught a lot of life lessons.
Those life lessons came both on and off the field as the Blue Devils faced adversity from start to finish. Bellwood Antis lost 2 starters in Week 3 before losing a 3rd starter for half of the season. The injury plague was not the only challenge the Blue Devils faced, however.
We even had a time period in October where we had 49 players on our team. 48 out of the 49 players missed at least 2 or 3 practices because of sickness. And it wasn't COVID, so it made it kind of tough. So our kids faced a lot of adversity throughout the course of the year.
The Blue Devils fought through adversity to finish 6-5, led by a trio of seniors. Ridgway totaled over 1,800 yards and 21 touchdowns in his first year at quarterback, while Nick Cost averaged over 50 rushing yards per game and added 10 total touchdowns. In the air, Dylan Andrews became the #1 option, hauling in 4 of Ridgway's 11 passing touchdowns.
We've been friends since elementary. On the field, he really took a big step being quarterback this year, having never played it.
Andrews, Cost, and Ridgway are 3 of 11 seniors who will not return next season. But Bellwood Antis has a young core that has already seen playing time and has been brought closer together by the adversity of this season.
I think that rallying cry from that loss, especially losing the last 2, has kind of brought us together a little bit, and it's making us work a little bit harder because, we're moving to the Laurel Highlands Conference next year where, every game is going to be a tough game.
The Blue Devils' returning young core will look to right the ship in 2023 after losing 3 of their final 4 games this season. Reporting in studio for After the Whistle, I'm Justin Chevalella.
Thank you, Justin. Well, it was an impressive 8-3 campaign for the Tyrone Golden Eagles. Our very own Dylan Price recaps their season.
Nestled in the hills of central Pennsylvania, the Tyrone Golden Eagles look to soar to new heights in 2022 following a 5-6 campaign last year. With returning quarterback Ashton Walk at the helm for his first full season and a stout senior class, head coach John Franco admitted expectations were raised.
Our motto is Team Toughness Tyrone, and little by little we've been getting that back, and we felt that this year we needed to take the next step.
That next step was taken, led behind the electric connection of sophomore Ashton Walk and senior Ross Gamp that combined for over 540 yards and 8 scores.
We're going to need to get it going this year if we wanted to, be one of the best teams. So from the 7-on-7s in the summer, we just worked together all year and went to the field by ourselves and, just got that timing down.
Gamp wrapped up his career with the Orange and Black, surpassing his previous career highs in both yards and touchdowns, leading the team in all receiving categories, with Walk slinging the pigskin. Coach Franco is grateful for his seniors, a class he said acclimated to his leadership style upon his arrival and eventually thrived. Now the expectations have risen for the new era.
The best part about this season is that we finished 8-2 and no one was satisfied.
In Walk's first full campaign as the signal caller, he racked up 1,651 yards, 22 touchdowns through the air, and tallied 4 more on the ground en route to a first-round playoff exit against Central. Now Walk will lead the fresh crop of Golden Eagles to a new conference as the squad will look to keep on flying through the ranks of District 6 in 2023.
We're moving to that new conference next year. It's going to be a lot tougher. First off, win the Lower Highlands and win the district championship and win the state championship.
The Golden Eagles will look to grasp the gold in 2023 and fly like an eagle through the District 6 rankings. Reporting in studio for After the Whistle, I'm Dylan Price.
Thanks, Dylan, both for your coverage of the Golden Eagles and for those golden pipes. How about that? It was a strong season with multiple playoff wins for the Penns Valley Rams. Reporter Mac Young dives into their year.
After an average 2021 season, the Penns Valley Rams were poised for a comeback. Penns Valley was just 6-5 in 2021. The team never rattled off more than 3 wins in a row. However, the Rams returned key contributors like quarterback Jackson Romig and running back Ty Watson, ready to put together a special season. This year, the Rams came flying out of the gates. The team won each of its first 3 games, putting up over 30 points in each contest. However, things were off to a great start. It all started to slow down when the Rams battled tough competition in late September. Penns Valley lost back-to-back games to Bald Eagle and Clearfield by double digits. The team then rallied together, winning 7 straight games, culminating in a thrilling home playoff game against Bald Eagle. The Rams took the sequel matchup with a commanding 34-14 win. The following week, Penns Valley headed to Mansion Park for a do-or-die game at a neutral site. Ultimately, the Rams fell to Bishop Guilfoyle 56-35, ending their season. It was a successful campaign and a huge improvement in comparison to last season for the Penns Valley Rams. The squad improved its win total by 4 and won a home playoff game. So it'll be interesting to see if the Rams can take another leap. The Rams will look to expand on their 2022 success next season. Reporting in studio for After the Whistle, I'm Mac Young.
Thanks, Mac. Bishop Guilfoyle created a lot of buzz this offseason by moving up a division. Our very own reporter Alex Rocco details their season.
After winning its first state title since 2016, Bishop Guilfoyle entered the 2022 season with heightened expectations and in a brand new division. The Marauders struggled to open the new campaign, splitting their first 4 games before winning 5 of their last 6 to enter the postseason with a 7-3 record. Bishop Guilfoyle looked to repeat as state champions, but it fell short of that goal, losing to Southern Columbia area 42-14 in the second round of the state playoffs. The Marauders' offense was amongst the top in the state, averaging 38.7 points per game and 418 total yards of offense. Leading the offensive attack was quarterback Carson Keseywetter. Keseywetter threw for just over 2,000 yards and 18 touchdowns, but it was his rushing ability that made the offense so difficult to slow down. Keseywetter ran for an astonishing 1,560 yards and 31 touchdowns. Teaming up with Keseywetter in the backfield is Cooper Rother, who had 903 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns. Rother was also Keseyweatter's favorite target as he led the team with 48 catches for 670 yards and 4 touchdowns. Bishop Guilfoyle also played stout defense all season long, as his opponents averaged just 18.5 points per game. The Marauders played an aggressive style of defense, and it paid off in bunches as the team recorded 88 tackles for loss and 38.5 sacks in just 14 contests. Anthony Ciafari had a stellar senior season, recording 112 tackles, 26 tackles for loss, and 14.5 sacks. Junior Caden Wyant led Bishop Guilfoyle in tackles with 149, along with 20 tackles for loss. Despite losing several of their top players, the Marauders are expected to contend for another state title in 2023.
After recording double-digit wins for 2 consecutive campaigns, Bishop Guilfoyle will look to continue its success heading into 2023. Reporting in studio, I'm Alex Rocco for After the Whistle.
Well, thank you, Alex. It was certainly a great year for Bishop Guilfoyle, but it's pretty difficult to unlock defenses at the high school level, but that was no problem this year for Carson Kiesewetter. The Bishop Guilfoyle quarterback is our After the Whistle Player of the Year. Kiesewetter led the Marauders to a 10-4 season and helped his school pick up 3 wins in the PIAA playoffs. While commanding this high-powered offense, Kiesewetter accounted for more than 2,000 passing yards and 18 passing touchdowns. But it was his dual threat abilities that made him so dominant this year when he racked up over 1,500 yards on the ground to go along with 31 rushing scores. Those numbers made head coach Justin Wheeler compare him to quarterback NFL MVP Lamar Jackson. After Bishop Guilfoyle moved up to AA in District 6, their dominance still continued, where the offense averaged over 39 points per game this season. Well, in the final season for Kiesewetter, his stellar performance earned him his first Division I offer from St. Francis University. He's our After the Whistle Player of the Year. It was a pretty impressive season for the Bishop Guilfoyle quarterback.
Guys, it was really exciting watching him play all year long. Really just excited to kind of see where he goes next and continuing to follow along on his journey.
Yeah, and to put a cap on that, I think it's safe to say that Carson Kiesewetter is a big-time player. And Jake, what do big-time players make?
Big-time players make big-time plays, Andre.
They absolutely do, and there were plenty of big-time plays scattered throughout District 6 this season. It's been a wild season of high school football, and it's just hard to capture that in just 5 plays. We're going to try anyway. Let's kick off our top 5 plays of the season. Kicking things off with number 5 all the way back to September 30th. Bedford's taking on Penn Cambria. Take a look at Bedford running back Ethan Weber. The Bison running back takes off in the open field. He hurdles a defender. Looking like one of those Bison out at Yellowstone. He hurdles a defender, breaks free, 55-yard score. Wasn't enough to get the win, but certainly deserving of number 5 play.
I mean, look at that hurdle that he had using the leaps. Looks like Najee Harris out there. The dominant back takes it to the house. Big-time play this season at number 5 back in September. That was fun to watch.
Man, leave it to Preston to do a Steelers comparison on the show. But hey, let's go to number 4 now. We teased this one in the open. Back on September the 23rd, it was Eric MYKUT, a lefty cannon down the sideline where Jackson Foster hauls it in. A little bit of a backpedal there. Love that too. Flips himself around down the sideline in for a touchdown for Huntington, but Tyrone did win that game 14-6.
All right, number 3, October 21st, Bishop McDevitt versus Mifflin County. That's the quarterback, Saunders. Look at this no-look pass across the body to Tyshawn Russell. The Crusaders would get a big win that day over Mifflin County, 54-6. They went on to eventually win the state title. That's an impressive play at number 3.
Take a look at Stone Slinging the Rock, Preston. Well, now let's go to Mansion Park in Altoona. Quarterback for State High, FURMANEK, has made plenty of memories in this building. None so bigger than that. In the District 6 6A title game, a prayer at the end of the half to Michael Gall. More like Michael Hall as he hauls it up in front of a whole pack of Mountain Lions as State High celebrates a district crown.
You wanted your top play of the year? You got it. Here it is. In the District 6 AA championship game, BG was looking to pad their lead, but that snap was bobbled. Dominic Janaszek had it, tried to make a play, evade defenders, but the ball is stolen by DANIN KERSTETTER, who takes it all the way back into the end zone for a touchdown. The Rams did score just before the half, but that special play from the special teams unit wasn't enough for Penn to capture the 6th AA crown as Bishop Guilfoyle took the win.
It's a massive play on the defensive side. Look at this in slow motion. He gets that ball, gets it all the way out, and then takes it the length of the field. It wasn't enough for Penns Valley to pick up this win over BG, but man, that was a big play. It almost flipped the momentum. Exciting one for the Rams. That's our play of the year.
It certainly was a big one, Preston, and I think it captures just the chaos of high school football. Anything can happen on any given snap. It's why we love covering District 6 so much here on After the Whistle.
A lot of fun to see those top plays, and I don't want to interrupt you here, Andre, but do you guys smell that? There's a scent in the air. I think it's the smell of roses. Penn State football is making its first trip to the Rose Bowl since the 2016 season, and our Center County Report team has more on the big game.
After starting the season unranked, the Nittany Lions are 10-2 and smelling roses. 11th ranked Penn State will play Pac-12 champion Utah in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Audrey Snyder of The Athletic believes Penn State has a shot to do something they haven't done all season.
This is a chance for them to get a signature win that has eluded this team all season.
The bowl announcement is just one of the good news nuggets in recent weeks. Olu Fashanu, projected as a high NFL draft pick, shocked many fans by saying he's returning next season. And freshman Nick Singleton won Big Ten Freshman of the Year. It's all giving the team and fans optimism for next season and beyond. StateCollege.com's Mike Poorman thinks Penn State will remain ranked high going into next fall.
I would anticipate Penn State's a top 8, top 10 team going into the preseason in 2023.
The college football playoff will also expand to a 12-team format in 2024, and highly touted quarterback Drew Allar and running backs Nick Singleton and Katron Allen will keep gaining experience over the next 2 years. Snyder mentioned that a lot can change fast in the college football landscape and to take it 1 year at a time.
2023, 2024, you should be a really good program. But I'll kind of caution it with this. 2 years is an eternity in college football.
In University Park, I'm Katie Braun for the Center County Report.
Penn State will look to finish with 11 wins for the first time since the 2019 season. We'll have the coverage of the Rose Bowl live on Penn State's Com Radio on January 2nd at 5 o'clock. Well, that will do it for this season's wrap-up version of After the Whistle. A special thanks to our entire production crew and staff for their hard work all season long.
I want to extend a thank you to everyone for tuning in this season, as well as recognize our incredible faculty and staff, whether it's Brian Schoenfeld, Scott Myrick, Eric Olson, everybody behind the scenes for their hard work all season long.
Well, have a great off season, and most importantly, a very restful holiday season. And until next time, we'll catch you
after the whistle.
All right, quiet in the studio real quick.
If it did, it was probably your IFB. My IFB.
All right, we're going to do McKenna's tag, and whenever you're ready.
Although Yost and Miller are graduating and moving on from the Altoona football program, the Mountain Lions will continue to roar as they look to claw their way to victory next year. Reporting in studio, I'm McKenna Wall for After the Whistle.
One more time.
Although Yost and Miller are graduating and moving on from the Altoona football program, the Mountain Lions will continue to roar as they look to claw their way to victory next year. Reporting in studio, I'm McKenna Wall for After the Whistle.
Good.
Cool.
All right.